Lights, welcome back to my channel. It's Chantel here if you're just seeing my face for the first time, and if you like what you see already, please do well to subscribe by clicking on the red button by your right hand side that spells subscribe and the notification bell icon that shows up after, so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Let's just jump right into what today's video is all about. Just a brief background on this show. A number of men and women were enrolled in a blind love competition or experiment, as they like to call it. So basically, they were all in different houses. They paired the men in a separate house and the women in a separate house. So what they were trying to prove was that, or is that, love is blind. What happens is that they were all paired in different rooms where they would not see each other. They called it the pod in the video, the pod. So basically, a pod is like a private area with a wall demarcating both parties, where a woman and a man are in separate rooms, but the only way they can communicate is just by talking to each other. They can't see each other. All devices were taken away, all social media, everything was on lockdown. So all they had to do there to fall in love was listen to each other's voice, basically just have conversations and not see each other. The action word here being not seeing each other. Like, they had nothing, no visualization of themselves. They just had to fall in love via voice and discussions, through discussions basically. And they were paired on different days with different people, and anybody that you feel like you had the spark with, you continue talking with that person. Eventually, if the guy gets to propose to you and you accept to be his fiance, you get to see the person. After watching this, I was shook. After the first phase of the process, 6 couples emerged and they were all engaged and they got to see themselves, which is where the real story started, which is where the after show started, which is where reality kicked in, if I should say so myself. And they all experienced real life hurdles and ordeals that even caused one couple to break up. So I'm going to list out the couples, and when I'm telling you guys how I feel about it, I'll be referencing to them. In no particular order, the couples that emerged were Cameron and Lauren, Damien and Janina, Jessica and Mark, Carlton and Diamond, Kelly and Kenny, and the last was, I have to confirm, I thought I had this thing at the top of my head, Amber and Barnett. So those were the 6 couples that emerged engaged from the show. The others, we didn't get to see anything about them or hear anything about them during the course of the show, maybe because they did not find love in the pod. So a couple of things I jotted down while watching this. I'm just going to read them out to you before I give my thoughts on the whole happening on this show. Some of the things that the hosts Vanessa and Nick Lachey talked about during the course of the show. Number 1, they said choosing someone to marry without ever seeing them, which is what I explained initially. Number 2, they argue that your value is judged solely by the photo on your dating app, which is something we live by these days. So most people are used to falling in love by seeing pictures or videos or something that just explains or describes the person you're about to fall in love with, not necessarily voice. So they're just trying to prove that, is it possible to actually fall in love without seeing the person that you're falling in love with? That's to prove that the word love is blind is actually true. Yeah. And they also said psychologists believe that the key to marital success is emotional connection and not physical attraction. Next, they said the experiment removes all the variables that set the tone for marriage or falling in love, such as ethnicity, race, and most of all, physical appearance. So with that being said, I'm just going to break down each contestant's situation into what I feel it should be like in the real world and or in Nigerian society. And like I always point out in videos like this is completely my opinion. I am not trying to shove it down anybody's throat. So if you agree or disagree, please let me know in the comment section. And I'll always say, be subtle about it. Comprende? Okay? Okay. First, we're talking about Carlton and Diamond. Carlton and Diamond are a black couple. They got into the house, they fell in love via discussions, and they got into the real world. And Carlton had a big secret, which was the fact that he likes to swing both ways. So he has had male relationship, and he has also tried having relationship with the female gender. And he tried to share this with Diamond, and it did not sit well with her. I wouldn't say it did not sit well with her 100%. She was still trying to process the whole big news as he just gave it to her, like gave it to her back boost. And when he hit her, she was still trying to like process the whole thing, and it led into a disagreement with him, between both of them rather. And she removed her engagement ring. He threw it in the water. She even had the whole Beyonce quote, "Watch me and walk my ass from end to end." So if you watch the show, you can fill in the blank. So yeah, I feel like with that was expected. I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to tell you guys what I feel like it should be in the real world or in a Nigerian society, because here in Nigeria we're very what's the word, shielded when it comes to things like that. If you're with somebody and they give you such an alarming news, I know that more than 60% of our Nigerian women will not take that lightly, because how can you be a man and you swing both ways? I feel like Diamond's issue with that was the fact that seeing her future with him was not solid, because along the way he might just slip away and fall in love with a man, maybe her friend or her brother or something. I'm just saying. So she was still trying to process that, and I don't see that happening in Nigeria here. That is why I wasn't totally in agreement with this show. Like when I watched the first episode, I said I have to watch to the end to see what the outcome of this whole thing will be, because the love was just, in I think 3 days. In 3 days, some people were already engaged. That's how fast it was. It was bam, 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 bam. Everybody was done and gone. So there were so many secrets inborn that before they could share it with each other, trust was not well built. I feel like most of what they were feeling at the initial time was just infatuation. You can't tell me that you fall in love in 3 days. It exists. Yeah, there are people that say, oh, they fell in love on first sight, but I am not of that school of thought. I have never been of that school of thought. I can see you and I feel attracted to you on first meet, but not falling in love with you. Because if Diamond and Carlton were really, really in love, like they portrayed it to be, she would have stuck with him through that situation and just walked her way through it. But it wasn't there. You could see her fighting her feelings, and he was fighting equally, and at the end of the day they broke up. So I don't see that happening in the real world or in Nigeria as a whole. I don't know, I might be wrong. The second triangle I would like to trash out is Barnett, Jessica, and Amber. Barnett was involved with 3 ladies, but he got rid of the other one. I don't know, rid is a strong word, but he picked one over the other. He picked one over the other two, and one was still in the picture because she was with someone else. So I'm just talking about Amber and Jessica versus Barnett. I'm not including Elsie if you watch the show. So yeah, Barnett to me was a very confused person. He did not know what he wanted. I don't even see the marriage between him and Amber lasting a lifetime, because he's neither here or there. He doesn't want to set his foot down and make a concrete decision. When he was trying to make his decision with Jessica, you could see that he was so into her. He's like, oh, if there was nobody in this house, it was just you and I would definitely propose to you tomorrow. Door, like if there was nobody in the house, who would you propose to if not me? Is it the door or the mirror between us? So he wasn't concrete at all. Then with Jessica, Amber, he said he liked her a lot and she scared the shit out of him. Then with Elsie, the one that he did not, he said he could see himself in her, that they were like the same person, and yeah, that he just liked 3 of them. How can you like 3 people at the same time if it's real? Do you get my point? Because for me, I felt like all those things were just initial feelings and infatuation. It had nothing to do with real love until it came to the crux of the matter, where he had to choose for him to be shortlisted as one of the finalists. I feel like that was why he chose Amber. Amber was so into him, maybe because that was the person she felt like she clicked with, or the only person she clicked with in the house, and every other person was taken. And yeah, she just felt like, oh, okay. Because if you watch the whole show, you could see that she was doubting herself, yet sometimes she'll come out of it and try to be the stronger person and push feelings and push until he gave in. And I don't think that he gave in completely, because there was an episode where she was asking him if there's an issue with her family and her, between his family rather and her, who was he going to choose. I feel like it was unfair for her to ask him to choose, but then again, he was not even convincing. He was just like, I don't know. All his questions, you can never get a pure yes or no from Barnett. You always get maybe, I don't know. yeah, okay, something. He was never concrete, so I don't feel like he's the right person for Amber. And like I said, this is my opinion. I'd want to put this out here as much as possible before someone comes from me. This is my opinion. I just feel like he's not the right person for her. Yeah. The next paired couple I want to talk about are Jessica and Mac. For me, Jessica and Mac are a proof that physical attraction is priority in any relationship. Like, if you're not physically attracted to the person and you feel like there are other attributes that you love about the person or you like about the person, and there's no physical attraction, for me, that relationship is going nowhere, because she made us feel like she was in love with him, or she loved him rather. Being in love with and loving somebody are two different things in my book. So she made us feel like she loved him, but then again, she wasn't ready to give in to him. She wasn't attracted to him. She couldn't cuddle with him. She couldn't be with him in ways that he wanted to. He's a very passionate person. He's Latina, and Latinas are known for very touchy type of body language, but she was not having any of that. And secondly, she made us feel like, oh, the reason why she did not fall for him was because of the age difference, which brings me to my point when it comes to the Nigerian society. The age difference between them was 10 years. She is 34, or at the time of filming that video, she was 34 and he was 24. 10 years apart was a huge gap in my books. In Nigeria here, it will not fly. It might fly in some home, but 99% of Nigerian families will not let it fly. Nigerian parents will bring up valid reasons like, oh, will she have children? If she eventually has children, will they be healthy children? Does she have fibroid? I'm just saying what Nigerian parents will say, because for me, it's way more than that. For me, love is a lot of things but that. You get? But in the eyes of our Nigerian parents and in the society at large here in Nigeria, things like that will not fly. If you were to be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, even 5 years, but 10 years is a lot. And that was her fear. But when she got to meet Mark's mother, Mark's mother convinced her that that was not a problem and she was fine with the relationship going on. But she did not have that conviction, mainly because she did not love him. She wasn't physically attracted to him. Because I know that if she was physically attracted to him and she loved him, she would do her best to make it work. Because at the end of the day, I felt like she just gave in because it was her only option. She did not want to leave the show. Like, she just had to be there because there were no other options. As it was really obvious that she was in love, she was head over heels in love with Barnett, and Barnett had moved on with Amber. I feel like Loki still had feelings for her. The whole thing was just one dirty circle that I did not understand. I was not a fan of Jessica in any way. I'm not trying to judge her, but I think that she was in on her feelings a lot, that she hurt so many people in the process. She will go to Amber and tell Amber one thing, come to Barnett and tell him another thing, go to Mark and make him feel like, oh, I love you, but then again, you're not showing me. You're only saying you love me, but you're not putting it into works. I feel like age is definitely a factor when it comes to ending up together as a couple, as a married couple. The next ones I'm going to talk about are Kenny and Kelly, and they also prove that physical attraction is really, really important when it comes to ending up with someone. Kenny loved and adored Kelly. I'm trying to pronounce their name, but okay, the lady is Kelly, the man is Kenny. So, excuse me, Kenny liked Kelly a whole lot, and he was ready to give up everything for her and just be with her. But Kelly, this is a tongue twister. Kelly liked him as well, or she made us feel like, yeah, she loved him. But for me, all of that was just infatuation. But she wasn't physically attracted to him. That passionate feeling you have for someone that that you're in sync with. I did not see that spark between them. They were all over each other, kissing and doing all sorts, but I feel like they were not so into each other. Kelly made that obvious at the end because she did not accept to marry him when it came to them walking down the aisle, and Kenny was heartbroken and all of that. But I felt like he should have seen all of these signs during the course of their relationship. Kelly had her man, the type of man that she set in her head, type of person she likes. I feel like she liked buff men. She did not like blonde men, like she stated. She said she's always into brunettes, and yeah, physical attraction is everything. So for me, I do not feel like love is 100% blind. I'm still going to get into that. There are some forms that I feel like it's blind, but in the case of Kelly and Kenny, I do not agree at all. The next couple happened to be one of my favorites from the show, Janina and Damien. those ones, I feel like they were in love because their whole connection was so intense. They couldn't keep their hands off each other. They were just so into each other, but I do not think that they are compatible. Maybe later in life they get to learn each other very well, but at the time of the filming of that show, I do not feel like they were compatible in any way. Which brings me to say that in Nigeria here, when you're getting married and your parents ask you the one and only question, do you love that guy? I don't feel like that should be the only question that should be asked, because for me, love is not enough when it comes to marriage. There has to be compatibility, there has to be understanding, there has to be friendship, there has to be a lot of qualities for you to be certain that, oh, this is the person I'd like to spend the rest of my life with, because they proved to me that love is not enough. And they actually proved that love is blind, because they fell in love with in the pod and they came out and they were so intense, they were so passionate, they were always together. But then again, they were not compatible. They had the most quarrels during the show, during the filming of the show. In public, in private, they were always at each other's necks, and for me that is not healthy. And yeah, I don't know how they got back together, because when they got married, he walked out on her on the eye. He said he couldn't go through with the marriage. Reason being that she was neither here nor there. She was hot and cold. Today she loves him, tomorrow she's not in love with him. Today she has butterflies, tomorrow the butterflies have flown away or they are dead. So I don't know how they got back together, because during the reunion they confirmed that they are back together as a couple. I don't know, I don't see them getting married again, but then again, you never say never. You never know how they will sort themselves out. But yeah, for me, in the real world, love is never enough. What do you guys think? Do you think that love is enough when it comes to marriage? Do you think that love is like the number one priority, and when there's love, everything works itself out? Let me know in the comments below. The last and my favorite couple that I'm going to talk about are Lauren and Cameron. For me, I feel like they were the most organic couple when it came to this program. Some people might feel otherwise, but for me, I felt like it was real, because she had cold feet. He's a lover. He's somebody that is really emotional from the start. When they started talking, even when they'll have some discussions, he would tear her up. You could see that he wore his heart on his sleeves, and he really loved her. He's somebody that, he's a techie guy, like he said, he's a scientist. So I feel like his thinking is way deeper than the normal guy. And I did not really doubt the fact that he liked her a whole lot. Even when they got to meet each other, they were so intense and they ended up together. But before the wedding proper, like on the road to going to the altar, she had cold feet. She was doubting if she was going to go through with it, but he was positive all through, and he told her all the best things that a man should tell a woman. I feel like theirs is going to last. I might be wrong, but then again, coming off from the screen where I just watched it, I feel like theirs was really organic. And yeah, I feel like they were not the perfect couple, but they made it work. They were compatible in a way, they loved themselves in a way, but not 100%. So they just had different percentages of each things that make up, that embodies love in total, or being with somebody in total. So they were trying to learn from themselves. They tried to ask each other questions. They communicated very well. In simple terms, they were really open with each other. And yeah, I feel like they will work in the real life. I feel like that is what happened, because if you meet someone for the first time and you tell them I love you, for me it's just, oh yeah, I'm infatuated by you. But you cannot use that word, I am infatuated by you, which is what they got to show us. Because after that, it was real proof that, oh, I'm working on getting somewhere with this person. They were open about a lot of things, and when she got to know more of him, she fell more in love, and vice versa. Another question I'd like to throw out here to you guys is, are you more attracted to personality or appearance? Because for me, appearance is a large percentage. I don't want to give it a number, because I've never fallen in love with anybody right off of the back of speaking to you. I'll always ask for pictures, and to avoid being catfished, maybe a live video or something. But in this love is blind experiment, they want to prove that appearance is not everything, or appearance doesn't make you fall in love. Let me know in the comments which you agree with. Are you more into appearance or personality when it comes to finding love. By the way, Damien reminds me of Serena Williams' husband, Alexis Ohanian. I think that's his name. If you agree, let me know in the comment section. Like every time I saw him in the experiment, I'm like, this is Serena's husband, and Lauren is also black. So for me, I'm like, this is Serena and Alexis goals for me right here, because Serena's husband is also an IT person and Lauren's husband is an IT person. I feel like they really look alike. If you agree with me, give this video a thumbs up or let me know in the comments. So guys, that brings me to the end of today's video. While watching that show, I was crying all through. I'm such a crier when it comes to love. I'm a crybaby. I was crying, especially during Damien and Lauren's scenes. Like, it was so organic, it was so real to me, and it really made me love again. Yes. With all of that being said, at the end of the day, for me, marriage is between two people, and it is not something that a decision should be taken out on a whim. You should think about it, process it, and think of it long term. It's not something that, oh, I love you now, I see myself with you in the future, because the future is unpredictable. You cannot see the future. You don't know what will happen tomorrow. You don't know the circumstance that will come your way with your partner too, and you guys, you don't know the troubled waters that you might go into. Nobody prays for things like that, but then again, marriage for some people these days, I feel, is just then and there. It is not long term. Nobody thinks of the future. Nobody thinks of what might happen. So many millennials, I think of the ceremony and all of the glitz and glam that come with it, and not the nitty-gritty of the marriage itself. Watching this show, I came to the conclusion that love is not enough, passion is not enough, friendship is not enough, physical attraction is not enough, psychological attraction is not enough. A lot of all those attributes are not enough. They are embodied in one. You are not standalones. You cannot have one and not have the other in my book. So yeah, that is it with me. What do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree with everything I've said in this video? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed watching and you haven't subscribed up until now, please do so by clicking on that red button that shows up by the right hand side and the bell icon that shows up after, so you don't miss out on any of my uploads. Like this video or give it a thumbs down so I can know the type of videos that you want here on my channel. I love you so much for watching today, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.